Hey everybody, Fresco Quinos here. So let's take a look at the script writing practical in Word. First, I'm going to show you a Google Doc, right? Here's the Google Doc. And the idea is that script writing is all about communicating your ideas in a kind of visual format. So you might be talking to your client or your director, producer, the writer could be writing something for them, your crew, your camera people. So various formats are used. This is a screenplay format, which is very detailed, usually for like a Hollywood movie or a play. You have a very kind of, intense description of interior shot, location, time of day, FIT, in the middle of the afternoon. The action is that people are filing out of the Feldman Center. So you wouldn't want to use this for something that you're going to be directing on the spot that might be a little bit hard to follow. So a lot of times in video production, we'll use what's called a column script. So the column script is split in half. We have the video on one side. So you have all the shot designations here, like wide shot, medium shot, and then things like graphics or other designations, right? What's going on. The nice thing about it is you can look directly across and see, for instance, when you're on a shot, what is going on in the audio track. So you might have things like music or sound effects and dialogue, voiceover, all kinds of things going on in the audio track. And obviously you can kind of make this wider or adjust the column width depending on where you are and what you really want to focus on. Other code information might be there too. So there's terminology. We start off with a EWS, which is an extreme wide shot, establishes the buildings at FIT or a Google Map shot. And then you go in tighter from wide shot to a medium shot, which is waist to head. This is kind of a medium close-up that we're using here. I might also have a head and shoulders or a close-up. Right, a close-up is more like this, and then an extreme close-up might be a kind of arty shot of just my eyeball. Camera moves, we can move the camera left and right. Generally, if we want more room on that side, so we want more room on the right, we would pan right. More room on the left, we would pan left. Tilt up and down, right? So obviously this is weird, too much negative space. I look small and you wouldn't believe what I'm saying. So the directorial cue is to tilt down, right? If I don't have enough headroom, then the directorial cue is to tilt up. We can also zoom in and out. I can't do this with my laptop, but you get the idea. It's an optical effect where you zoom in and out, or you can use the entire rig and dolly in and out, or left and right, and that gives you a different kind of effect, which I like. It's more realistic. Audio cues on the script might be things like a music bed. Sound on tape is an old throwback. We don't use tape anymore, but it's usually sound from another source. Like on a news package, you have a roll in of a story. The sound comes from that. Voiceover is usually narration off camera. Voice on camera, obviously, is something like this, where I'm talking, you can see my lips moving. It's synchronized dialogue, any spoken words. Nats is natural sound. So maybe we're doing a restaurant and we hear, the environment of a busy kitchen in the background. If we don't record that too well, we might go to a special effects library and get the sound effect of that busy kitchen and lay it in. Or if the SFX is in the video column, then it usually means something like, a slow motion shot or some kind of special effect to the video. Okay, graphics, you can indicate, we want full screen titles. You can do lower thirds, which are, to identify your talent. Basically anything that you see on screen image-wise might be a product shot or a logo. That could be also considered graphics. If those things move, they're animated, right? So it's animation. And then going from one shot to another might be a transition. So if we're going, say, from an exterior to an interior, we might use a dissolve instead of a cut, or we want to indicate a change in time or place. Also, a dissolve can work here. Okay. So here it is now. We're going to format our script in Word. Let's see if you can bear with me with this. I'm going to open up Word, a blank document, get myself out of the way here, and let's take a look at this. So the first thing it says is set custom margins, 1 inch left and right. Top and bottom 1 inch, and then 1.5 inches left and right. So what we're going to do here is go to our layout tab, margins, custom. I'm doing this on a Mac, right? So custom margins, and we have the 1 inch, but the left and right, we want to adjust to 1.5 inches. Okay, so there we go, 1.5 inches. Say okay. You can see it moves to 1.5 inches. Okay, so now we're going to create a table on page 2 with 2 columns and 8 rows. So we go to Insert, Table, and here's your grid, and basically that's the entire grid. You can always add or take away later. So here's our table, and then we're going to center that table on the page, both vertically and horizontally. So it is centered already horizontally. Vertically on the page is a little different. What we're going to do is I'm actually going to insert a page break here. I'll do that step next. So I'll go to Layout Breaks and insert a page break. Okay, so that puts the table just by itself on page 1. Here's the page break. Remember, in order to see those things, you got to show you're invisible. So if you go home and you don't have this on, you won't see those formatting marks. So make sure you put this show hide on so you can see what's going on in the background. Now, in order to center this on the page, what I'm going to do is, you can do it on a PC differently. I'm showing you guys the Mac version in this video. So you go to the table and then Layout, go to Table Properties. So you may not see it here. Sorry, I have to just expand this. There's the properties, right? So in the properties, then I'm going to choose Center, and then Text Wrapping, Positioning, Vertical. You can see the horizontal is already centered, but the vertical, I'm going to choose Centered, and then that should center it on the page. Great. That works nicely, right? So you can also do some other things. If you go to Table Design, add some kind of design element to the table just to make it look a little more visually appealing here. You can choose one of these kind of design. Pick that one. Okay, so now you're going to type in there the title, and then the other information. I'll spare you, but on the right side, then put the title of it. I'll just put my video. Sorry. Okay, makes sense. So you see what's going on, right? First page. Now on the next page, let me just bring this back to 2 screens. Fill in the appropriate information, center on the page. We did that. Insert a page break, go to page 2. Here we are on page 2. Add a header to the document that begins on page 2 and type this information in the header. So let me show you how to do that. What you want to do is go to Insert and then Header and Footer. Click on Header here. Okay, so we're going to insert the information. You can choose any of these header designs, actually will work. You're going to insert the information there. What you want is a special header, because we don't want the header on page 1. So if you click this different first page, then the header will begin on page 2, and you can actually have a different header if you want on page 1. I'm not going to do anything, so we will just have page 2 header here. And we're going to have title, draft, another thing in there. I'm just going to, again, save you guys the pain of me typing and just put title. Okay, so now you've got your header and footer. And that also is great for identifying, branding, put your logo in there, things like that will work nicely. So now we're up to add a table to page 2. We're doing a page number here. I should probably show you that, right? So in order to do the page number, you're going to go here, and we want a page number right aligned. So go to page number, and then here it is, alignment right. We've got that. And there we go. Notice how it starts on page 2, but we don't have it on page 1 because we have a special first page header. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to go to add a table to page 2 with 3 columns and 8 rows. So click on page 2 here, get out of the header, and let's go to Insert Table. And we're going to do 3 columns this time and 8 rows. Okay, and now we're going to make the first column much smaller. Okay, so if you go to the point where you get that very small, thing going on there, and then I'll kind of equalize the audio and video columns. So what I want to do with the first one is just do something called scene number. So scene number, and then I'm just going to add, 1, 2, 3. So this is the way it looks when you're going to view it. when you're communicating to your audience, but you might shoot it out of sequence. So for instance, you have some scenes that are shot in the park and some scenes that are shot in the classroom. You might, obviously, when you're doing a shooting script, shoot all the classroom scenes at once, shoot all the park scenes, maybe shoot all the scenes that a certain talent is in at the same time. This make it just easy for convenience, and then later on you'll edit it together to match this. So here now we're going to do our video, and then tab and do our audio. Okay, so we've got that, and let's see what it says here. Make the first column not add the scene numbers, bold and center these, and create a gray fill for the field. So what we want to do is click in the margin over there, and then we can go to our home tab. We're going to use bold, we're going to use center alignment, and I'm just going to make that scene number fit nicely just by making that a little bit larger. I want to do the entire column. So let me select it this way from the top and then just make it a little bit larger so the page number goes. Okay, and center those numbers too. Get the idea, right? So that's looking good. And now what we want to do is write your script. So that's pretty easy, right? So here's scene 1, and I'll give you an idea of how that's going to work. You're going to say something like extreme, wide shot, FIT buildings. And at this point over here in the audio, I'm going to say music in whatever the music is. You get the idea, right? And then, you might, do the next shot, whatever you do here. As you type in here, it should, just, you want to do a text wrap, actually. It's going to work better. So let me show you how to do that. What you want to do is highlight your table again. You can see here as I type, it's making the audio column smaller. So I don't want that to happen. I want the columns to stay the same size. So what I'm going to do is highlight the table properties again, and then wrap text around. If that works. See, now we have the text wrapping. And that's what you want when you type your video script. So let me know if you have any questions with it, and have fun planning your video.